Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Matt from the Pitti Group Wealth Management, along with my brother Anthony, and this is the Finance Things in Life. Today we're going to be talking about 403Bs, some common mistakes and ideas for all you educators, healthcare workers, and nonprofit employees.
That was beautiful, Matt. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This is one of the topics that came up recently. We've been working with, not to exclude some of the healthcare workers, but we've been working with a lot of teachers lately that have had 403Bs and just giving some education around their plan. The unfortunate thing about some of these 403B plans or some of the schools in general is there's just not a whole lot of education based around what you have. Ironically, in the education industry, not a whole lot of education about where you're investing. So this just seemed like a perfect topic to cover, and since it's been coming up a lot lately, a pretty passionate one for us.
Yeah. So I think we'll just get right into it. One of the biggest things that we've seen when kind of reviewing these 403B accounts for clients are the high fees, and a lot of the employees or teachers they don't even realize that the fees that they're paying.
Right.
Because usually these fees are kind of buried,
hidden in there.
They're hidden in the expense ratio. If they're invested in an annuity within that 403B plan, they often don't even know, what they're paying. So, that's a good place to start when reviewing your 403B is kind of get that fee disclosure if possible. Look at what the expense ratio of the funds, any 12B1 fees, any annuity fees, M&E expenses.
And just there's going to be a little bit of jargon in this too. So just circling back a little bit, a 12B1 fee is essentially like a sales fee for the plan. There's also advisory fees. Do you want to talk a little about what like an M&E fee is? Things along those lines, just so like people know exactly what it is that we're talking about.
Yeah. So it's easy to kind of just start
jump
using
right into
the
it.
acronyms. So like Anthony said, 12B1 fees and maybe the expense ratio. So the expense ratio is the fee that the manager of that investment is charging. So that fee goes towards the mutual fund that you're invested in, and that's going to pay that portfolio manager and his team in the company what they need in order to kind of manage the fund, make the trades, any other expenses that come along with managing that investment. So the M&E expense, the M&E fee, that's the mortality and expense fee that's kind of built into it. That comes into play a lot with annuities. And then you also have sometimes an admin fee that the 403B might add on to that, the provider. You could also have an advisor fee. So if you have an advisor on your 403B that's helping you manage, or maybe they're not even helping you manage, but they're
charging you a fee,
right? So you might have that fee on there as well. So typically, the advisor fee might be separate or separated out from that expense ratio. But like I said, the biggest thing that you can do is get that fee disclosure document, or even have another advisor look over that and see if they can find anything. Because sometimes, like we said in the beginning, these fees aren't always right in your face. They're often hidden behind a lot of things.
Yeah, and these things can definitely add up over time. You're talking about, I think we listed off 6 or 7 fees just right there. If you're not paying attention to those, or you at least doing your due diligence of what those fees are, they can definitely add up over time. It's just taken away from your gains overall. So keeping that in mind, making sure you're doing your due diligence. If you're a new employee into the space, asking questions of those providers, what their fees are, what their fund lineup is. If you already have an advisor and you're signing up for a new program through a 403B, having them look over that paperwork or that information to select the best provider is probably not a bad way to go. Just so you have a little bit of your, again, due diligence or education prior to signing up. And we'll also touch base on this a little bit later as far as changing those providers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Another, kind of speaking of fees and, M&E expenses, selecting an annuity within your 403B. Oftentimes, a lot of employees, they see the annuity option and they feel like, they need to have that feature in there, whether it's a variable or fixed annuity. And oftentimes that'll just add additional costs or, complexity.
Yeah.
So we'll have to scratch that one.
We'll keep it.
Yeah. No, right. So we'll start. So a lot of times, these employees will add the annuity option to their 403B, whether it's a fixed or variable option, and a lot of times that'll add additional fees or make it a little more complex for the employee. And sometimes when you're looking to take your money out, it could end up being locked in. So you might not be able to withdraw all your assets at one time if you're looking to make a change because it's locked into that annuity.
Yeah. Yeah. And then getting into, I guess, putting money into your account. Obviously, everyone knows about their catch-up or their contributions, matching contributions. One of the things that we've noticed in the past is people not taking advantage of catch-up contributions. So a catch-up contribution is essentially if you're over the age of 50, you're able to contribute, what is it, 3,500 into your 403B if you're over the age of 50, I believe.
No, I think it's 30. It's 27,000 plus another 7, isn't it? 23,000 plus another 7.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the 60 to 63.
You're doing the super.
Yes, I'm adding that together.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
We'll scratch that too.
Yeah, we could leave it. I don't care. We're gonna talk through the whole thing. So yes, not taking advantage of the catch-up contributions, and there's a 15-year rule as well with that.
Yep. A lot of people don't know about the 15-year rule. So it's for 403Bs only. If you've worked for the same employer for 15 years, you are eligible for the catch-up contribution. And essentially that's a 3-year or $3,000 contribution, additional contribution to what you can contribute. Oh my gosh, dude, we're struggling.
It's been too long.
Yeah. The 15-year rule is unique to 403Bs. It's a catch-up contribution that's eligible to employees that have been with the same employer for 15 years. And they can contribute an additional $3,000 a year with a lifetime limit of $15,000. So for any of you educators out there, healthcare workers that have been with the same employer for 15 plus years, you're already maxing out, or what you think you're maxing out your 403B, you can actually put in an additional amount of $3,000 per year. And then, like I said, that lifetime limit is $15,000.
Yep. And then another thing that's been coming up is, teachers move around, people in the healthcare industry move around quite a bit. Just similar with, if you were to have a 401k, people changing jobs, you have multiple 401k plans. People in the not-for-profit space have multiple 403b plans. So some people don't know that you can actually move a 403b into a 401k if you were to leave the not-for-profit space. But one thing that people always forget about is consolidating those accounts, making sure that you're looking at what you've been invested in prior, so you don't have overlapping investments, making sure you stay diversified. But we also find that area for a best practice is consolidating those accounts.
Yeah. A lot of times I met with a client recently. She was in higher education. She had, I believe, 5 different 403B accounts.
Wow.
They were all with the same company. So to her, they were all within one account. She logged into her account and they all popped up, but they were all with different employers. So in a lot of them, there was either overlap in investments or, they were doing different things and it just didn't make any sense. And so, what we ended up doing was kind of consolidating everything. So she actually had a plan and it was invested properly. So, that's a big thing with the 403Bs, especially there's, some big players in that space. So a lot of times you're working with the same provider. And so you often think that, it's the same account, but it's not. So the contributions or, the investment allocation you're choosing for your current account isn't going to affect your other ones. So you got to stay on top of that.
Yeah, and especially within the school districts, a lot of the insurance companies were first to market when they were going into the school district. So if you're signing into a 403B with a school district, you're going to see a lot of those companies. What people didn't realize is you can actually change your provider within your 403B. So say you're working at XYZ school and you've got a certain provider.
You didn't want to say ABC school?
No.
The ABCs?
ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s. The XYZs. The XYZ school. We'll keep it at XYZ. And you want to change your provider. Maybe it's because of a fund lineup or it's the fees associated with it. You can do that. You can change whatever provider you is associated with that school. You can look it up online. I believe it's Omni Group website to see what providers are associated with your school. And one of the nice things that we're able to do as an RA is we can provide a management service for 403Bs as well through certain providers. So if you do have questions, one of the things that we provide to a lot of our 401k plans is just education on where to invest. A lot of people don't know, the difference between certain mutual funds or how they should be allocated depending on retirement goals. It's not exactly on your list of things to have knowledge on. You're more focused on your day-to-day life, your current job, all those fun things. So if you were looking for some education on those things, we're able to help out with that as well.
Yeah. Now, and going back to the RIA or the registered investment advisor, that basically means that we can work with a number of different providers in the 403B space. So keep that in mind if you are working with an advisor already, and let's just say they're with a specific company. They're probably only going to be recommending that company's 403B plan. So it's probably worthwhile, reaching out to an independent advisor or someone else and just seeing what other options are out there. So you can take a look at fees, the investment options, the fees within the investment options, performance. There's a number of different things that having an advisor that is open to a number of different solutions
doesn't have any skin in the game.
Yeah, they're not going to recommend something that is the only thing they can sell.
Right.
So definitely keep that in mind when kind of reviewing or creating your 403B account.
Yeah. And it also leads into your retirement planning. A lot of with the 403B plans, especially in the schools, you have a pension program. So if you're looking to figure out when you're looking to retire and you've got this 403B and you've got a potential pension, these are things that we can look at and plan, what your retirement outlook will be. So we can include what your pension estimation is, as well as what you've saved in your 403B account. Suggest if you should be saving up more, if you should take advantage of those catch-up contributions, Or there's also the option of going the IRA route if you're looking to diversify elsewhere, opening up an IRA and investing there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think lastly, the last thing that a lot of employees do is they fail to update or review their beneficiaries.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we've talked about this before, but it kind of comes up again, especially kind of going back to what we were talking about before, having several different 403B accounts with different employers. You get a new job.
Just gives me a headache thinking about
it. You update your beneficiaries for your current plan, so you think everything's good, and it's not. So I mean, that is something that could drastically affect your plans if you were to pass away, and who's going to be inheriting your assets if you're not staying on top of that. So
yeah, not exactly something you want to kick down the road. As morbid as it sounds, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But God forbid you're working somewhere for 20 plus years and you've built up a great nest egg in your 403B, and you change schools or change employers, and you're like, well, I'll just get to it eventually when I retire. I'll change everything over. God forbid that you don't reach that point and you didn't have any prior planning that can drastically change your estate plan.
Yeah. No. So definitely keep that in mind. I think it you're going to be no longer here, but it'll save your beneficiaries a lot of headache and heartache.
Probably have more people attend your funeral. They won't be cursing your name.
Right. Yeah. Depends on what type of funeral party they throw for you, I guess. But yeah, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. But I mean, with it being summer now, school's out. So for all you educators out there,
yes,
now is probably the time to kind of review your plan. Take the time to review those investments, review the beneficiaries, the provider, see if it makes sense to make any changes. And hopefully we can have a decent summer here, and start the next school year off right.
Yeah, there you go. And if you are interested in getting some of that information, or you don't know where to look, feel free to reach out to us. We're not attorneys. We're not gonna charge you per hour to look over your statements or your fee disclosure. But that is something we're happy to help with and just get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. Providing education
for our educators.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Anything else, questions, more ideas, feel free to shoot them over. And
yes. Leave a comment in the reels, is what the kids call it.
Yeah.
Or on our Spotify episodes if you want to see anything else coming up, or if you have any questions, we can turn it into an episode next.
All right. Perfect. Sounds great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.